Hi, folks, and welcome to Off the Page. Yes, we're back so quickly with a third episode with my good friend, Rylla Smith. Rylla, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having me, Matt. This is awesome. And my mom says hi.
Oh, my goodness. Is your mom there?
She is downstairs with me. Yeah,
Okay, after this, then I'm going to have to talk to your mom. I did not know that.
absolutely.
You and your mom are some of my favorite people ever. Long story short, folks, we met on a stream on another YouTuber, and I got invited. He said, "Hey, I got the wife and daughter of Eleanor Smith," and that's all I had to say. I was like, "I'm there, I'm there, I'm there." And we talked a little bit about your dad's Lando Calrissian trilogy books, the books that they're still one of my top five Star Wars stories ever. And that your dad wrote this in a matter of weeks, locked in a closet. I remember your mom was telling me this. I was like, that's incredible because he churned out stuff that is better than 90% of all other authors in under a limited time. And I know he didn't. I know he hated that time, but he created a fan in me because I bought that, and I told this story, but I'll tell it on my channel. I bought this book. They had the 3-in-1s back in the day. Del Rey was selling them in the late 90s. I bought that one, Brian Daley's Han Solo trilogy, and Alan Dean Foster's Splinter in the Mind's Eye. And I was going to read them in the order that I thought I would enjoy them the least. So your dad's trilogy was first, then Brian Daley. Then I love Luke Skywalker, so Alan Dean Foster was last. I ended up loving the series the opposite way. Lando
Wow.
Calrissian was the best one. In fact, it turned me into a Lando fan. And no one's rereading it. No one's really. I've reread the book since I've spoken to you. And your dad, he got what the Millennium Falcon was about. No one really wrote about the Millennium Falcon being that old trusty car that you have to punch it just right. That when you gun it, the lights dim in the canopy. And I was like, it feels like a hunk of junk. I mean, he's really writing it true to what it should be, and it made you feel. It made the Millennium Falcon a character. So, who knows if they would have given him time to write something, it would have been a masterpiece to last the ages. It's still fantastic. Like I said, I was just blown away when I finished and went, "Holy crow, that was good!" And then I read Brian Daley's Han Solo trilogy. Like, "Oh, that was good," and I went, "But I like Lando better," and I could not believe it. And then I read Luke Skywalker. I said, "Well, that was good, but Lando was way better." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, such a good series." So super talented, especially when I found out he's pissed off I'd be pissed off too in a room for 2 weeks, rushing fresh in Lucasfilm, trying to rush this out for me. But you did it amazing. You were one of the original guests on Off the Page. We had talked about this a little bit before we went live, and I'm so glad we could reconnect and do this episode because you were finishing one of your dad's novels last time I spoke. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So it is called Aries, and it is the next book, not necessarily the last, in the new family saga, which includes Palace and Ceres. Um, he had another one going that may have enough content to work on as well. But this one had been in with Arc Manor under the editorship of Leslie Robin. And yeah, I worked with the publisher Shahid Mahmood. Um, and he was just absolutely wonderful. Leslie was absolutely wonderful. And they helped me get this thing, finish punching it up in the final edits. And yeah, it was such a blessing to work with them.
That's great. That's great. And for anyone who doesn't know, fans of my channel, Chris Nelson, after I did the interview, he reached out to me. Is like, "You've got to read that series." He said it's really good. He's a big he's a big fan as well. So about how finished was Aries, and how much did you have to work? I mean, how much did you have to work with content wise? I should start there.
Uh, Almost the whole thing. It had been in editing for, oh gosh, I want to say like a year and a half. Um, but between various complicating health issues on everybody's side, as these things happen, um, my dad just couldn't get the edits done, and Leslie had requested an extra scene from him, and he couldn't make it work. So he just like bowled ahead with whatever else he was working on at the time and made that work instead, um, which I admire. The only salvation for a writer is to write, as they say, and he totally embodied that. Um, so all in all, I think there were some minor grammatical and punctuation things throughout the whole of the book. And then there was one scene that I ended up having to write from whole cloth, and then one that I ended up having to edit pretty thoroughly, just to change who was in it.
Yeah. It's kind of what you did with that book kind of feels like to me like how Christopher Tolkien treated his dad's stuff and has had to curate and say, okay, I had to connect the pieces here. This was a little fractured. I had to smooth this out because we had two different instances of this happening, and only one could be right. So it's a bigger undertaking than I think most people think when you say, yeah, the content wise, it was there, but you needed to shake out a lot of the dust and get that thing to flow a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm glad, I'm so happy that it got out, and I know a lot of people are too. And folks also put a link to the Amazon link to the book in the description of the video here today. But this, who was the publisher you worked with?
Arc Manor, under the label, I don't know how to pronounce this. It's Kazik, I think. CAEZIKSF, so science fiction. That's just sort of their under label, that they use for their new science fiction. They do a lot of reprints as well. I'm not sure if those fall under the same label.
Yeah, and what a lot of people, well, maybe they're knowing this now, but a lot of people do a lot of authors do a lot of world building. You got to keep writing. You got to keep thinking about, how do I want this world to be shaped up? How do I want the story to be shaped up? Your dad had lots of notes, I'm guessing, on how the story progresses. No.
No.
How did he keep things together then? What was his filing system, if there was one?
All up here, the little
Wow.
gray cells. My dad was not a note taker, meticulous or otherwise. He and unfortunately he and I have this totally in common. His filing system was entirely in his head, and so that's why I have the difficulties when people are asking me, well, what about this book? What about this book? I'm like, if I can find anything he wrote to anybody about it, any kind of correspondence, will be in better luck.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I decided to just jump into Aries after he passed away. I was like, okay, at least I know where this goes.
Okay. Wow. How daunting was the task for you?
I kind of did it in a blur because I think I did it in the 2 weeks after he passed away. And it was just it was my healing. I have to be functional. I have to be just go forward. And so that was what I did.
I believe from an earlier story off camera, we said that's your dad had the same attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, had to keep moving forward. Couldn't be stuck in one place. Had to keep moving, doing something.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, this also inspired you to pick up pen to paper and write your own book called Monster under the pen name Helena D'Argenta. Did I say that
Helena
right?
D'Argento. Yeah.
Sorry, Helena D'Argento. Okay. So, what after all of this, what possessed you to say, "Hey, I'm ready. Let's do it"?
So this book's actually been in the works. I will show this beast. Whoops.
Oh yes.
He has
Here, I'll
been
blow up the
in the
screen so we can
works.
see it.
He's been in the
Look at
works
that.
for 7 years now. And yeah, he's a thick boy too.
Here, hold that back up. Let's see if we can look at that. How many pages?
780, including front and back matter.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
yeah. So
Wow.
I've been writing since I was a little kid. Um, but I really got serious when I started back in 2017 when I started this book. Just I had a story that I wanted to tell. I knew all the characters inside and out because they're the characters I've been working with since college, maybe beyond. So, yeah.
That's great. It does make it simpler when you understand the characters that you're writing. Story can flow a lot better. So give us a summary of what the story is about.
Okay, the quick and dirty version that I give like coworkers or whatever is it's about a rogue CIA asset, a mafia don gone legit, and a rock star. And sort of how their lives fit together in strange and unexpected ways. But really, it's something of a political thriller's not the right word, but it's political fiction with a lot of other spice.
Gotcha. Drama, mystery.
It's a vigilante story.
There we go. Well, understanding a little bit of the family history there. I love it. I love it. I love it. So who did the cover for you?
I actually did the cover. It's
You did. Oh wow.
I'm one of those people. I know there's like this huge debate out there about artists really hating generative AI and writers really loving generative AI. And I'm a writer who can't art for squat. So so I use a lot of generative AI. Actually, this is one of the characters from the novel as well.
Oh nice.
Um, and he's a piece that I used Midjourney to create, and then so I just took the image that I generated and layered it a bunch of times with stuff, and yeah,
That's awesome.
the cover was a nightmare to design. If I'm being honest, Amazon KDP is it's picky and it doesn't tell you what it wants.
Yeah, I self-published a few collections, private. Well, I didn't make it public for everyone when someone found it. But just a collection of little short stories that just weren't in print. I love a print book. I just love opening up a print book. So some of my, just all this little e booklets together. I just put them together in a
Oh, I
paperback for
love
me to
that.
read over. Yeah, and but while I was doing that, I was trying to get because back before Amazon, it was Lulu, and I was getting okay on putting some covers together for that one. But when I got to Amazon, I was like, I give up. Just whatever can just splash on the page, then. Because
Seriously.
every time I was trying to set something up, it was off. It was too big. It was way too small. I was like, what is going on? Everything was just such a mess. So,
Seriously.
so yeah, I definitely feel your pain on that. And that's right. There is a use for AI and certain aspects of the game. It's there, I think, that to be used as a creative tool, not to be the soul of your creativity, but definitely to be something that can help you get along. I also recently, after many tries, got the AI image that I needed for a particular project I was working on, and I've used it a few times in the past. It's really helped me out, someone who has no artistic skills, but has an idea. And it's a little fiddly. I got AI certified at work, and that means absolutely nothing. I found out because I just found out how AI computes its many nodules to get you the situation and what's the proper way to phrase something for it to work. And I was like, after 2 full days of training and getting my little certification, I was like, well, that wasn't worth it.
Oh
I'm
no.
still going to go on there and hammer away. um, and I felt like I missed the point of that class. But either way, though, there is a point for that, and it's something that I don't think people should rely on solely, like to write script upon, or because I mean it can't be creative, truly creative, but can definitely help you in those aspects where you have those shortcomings on it. Just like spell checker. I mean, to be honest, spell checker is something we all use. Oh, you can't spell. No, I can't, but that's what spell check is for. I used to carry, actually, it's still here. So I used to draw my own comic books. That's what all
Oh,
this
what?
is up here. I can't draw. Oh no, where is it? It's not in here. Um, I must have taken it out. So in this, this is my old color box, but in it is a little booklet. I must have taken it out, but it's called the Bad Spellers Dictionary. It's a little, it was just words, just the words, not the meanings, just the words. And I
Cool.
carried that in my case because spell check didn't exist back then. You couldn't type it into Word and have it correct, autocorrect or whatnot. So I had to look up the word that I was trying to spell right. And that little booklet, oh man, I wish I knew where it was now. That little booklet lasted years. It's somewhere around here. One of my kids must have taken it out. But I kept around with me forever. But you know,
Wow.
I mean, spell check makes things easier. And now it kind of edits sentences for you. If a structure of a sentence is questionable, it'll put it in like purple. And I'm like, what's wrong with that sentence? Then I read it and go, oh, I see. You know, so yeah, I think it's there's a proper use for it, and there's a need too. So don't fear technology. Just figure out the best proper place for it, and don't let it replace creativity 100%. You'll be fine.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, if I could have afforded to hire an
Yeah,
artist, I would have. But like I was publishing this between jobs. I was like, no, not this time. Maybe next
yeah, I
time.
know it. And the artwork I want is going to cost me a pretty penny.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I think my brother went on and made a few deals with artists from Argentina and whatnot to get his covers. And still, though, he thinks the guy uses AI a little bit too, which is he's fine with, but make sure it makes sense and doesn't look ridiculous. And so my brother's like, you can mix the two, but you got to do just right with it. So, well, so now after you've written a 700-page monster of a book, pun intended, uh, what are you going to do next? Are you going to go back and look at some of your dad's writings to complete one of his other unfinished tales, or are you thinking of, hey, what's the next novel I want to write?
Well, that's a very good question. I've been spending not a lot of time writing, given that I've just gotten a new job. I'm no longer unemployed, Mom. Um, so I've been doing a little bit of work on a prequel to Monster. Something I really have been kicking around since college. It's basically written already. I just need to, tear it apart and rewrite it from the bloody bits.
Yeah.
Um, but we have a friend who is particularly interested in helping to get the sequel to my dad's vampire novel out there into the world,
Oh, nice.
which is pretty cool. We are very blessed to have such friends in our lives. So hopefully we can get that rolling. What else? He was writing another of the new family saga around the time he passed, and I really, really hope that I can write that story because one of the best memories that I have of the last year or so of my dad's life was I would come home from my job where I'd, written a whole bunch of stuff on my phone in my work breaks. Um, and I would type it up and, make whatever changes were necessary. And then we would sit in my dad's office and I would read something that I'd written and he would read something that he'd written that day. And it was just this amazing symbiotic relationship. And yeah, so it'd be great to have the work that he was reading to me out there into the world.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And you're right about it's good to have friends, caring friends who care about you, um, getting to talk to you and your. The story goes, folks, that after the stream was over, I'll tell you what happened. This guy ran his mouth the whole time, And I was having so much fun talking to you, and then your mom got on it. We just elevated the fun there, and y'all are just it the feeling is like real people. I mean, just real nice. There's no fakeness. That you are who you are, and I love that. I love that about y'all. And I remember because your mom reminds me a lot about my mom when she said, "Well, you were always if you were ever in blank city, you were always welcome in my house and everything." I was like, "Wow, this is great. This is an hour talking to her. I'm already in." But then I thought, you know what? My mom has an open door policy to everyone too. She's very kind. Your mom is just such an angel, and it really was wonderful getting to talk to you. But when I get excited about, and then plus we share lot of similar ideas about the world and politics and stuff like that. So that doesn't hurt either. I, I don't know. The other co-hosts are sitting there going, "Matt, just shut up. We want to go to bed." I was like, "Hey." And I was like, "Look, a friend, someone who's just like me." So I'm really happy that y'all are getting that support because y'all really are just sincere, great people. Um, by the way, on the monster book, I'm also focusing on put the link to that one in the description below. But before that happens, we're gonna go off the page, as the title says here, and we're gonna ask some other questions here. Really, what is the last best movie you saw?
Ooh.
Last good movie, I guess I should say.
Top of my head, The Gentleman.
The Gentleman. I
Yeah.
don't know this one.
It is a Guy Ritchie movie with Hugh Grant and Charlie Hunnam and Matthew McConaughey.
No, I do know this one. I haven't seen it, so that's good.
It is so good. It is so good. You will not regret it.
Okay, it's always hard because the trailer doesn't tell you that much. It doesn't have to, but um, that's awesome. That is awesome. I just saw Godzilla minus one, just came out streaming. So it's the I guess prequel. I don't know, but it's just so much fun, and it was
Cool.
made on a shoestring budget, but with excellent CGI that kills anything that Hollywood ever created. um, and a lot of fun. Next question. Wait a minute. Let me think about this one.
Ooh,
I'm going to
spicy.
change. Yeah, I'm going to change it up a little bit here. Um, because I just realized I asked that one of the two authors ago. So, all right, all right. You can go anywhere in the world. Where do you want to visit?
Uh, those who know me know that I am absolutely in love with Florence, Italy. I have been there 4 times. I will not select Florence for this question. We are going to pretend that the world is an eminently safe place, and I will say Istanbul.
Oh, look at that. Going different there. That's interesting. I have not. I have seen very little of this world, sadly. One of my friends he went on his lifelong dream vacation or trip to Australia. He's always wanted to go to Australia. He loved it so much he's there again.
Oh wow.
Technically, I think he found someone too. It's not just that he loves
Ooh.
Australia.
See, if I went to
So,
Australia, I'd come back with an accent, and we can't have that happen. Um,
oh, I know. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'd love it. So, yeah, I'd probably Wales, since family genealogy traces back there. Not that I'd have ancient I mean, I may have family out there, but who knows? But I'd like to look at those types of places. And honestly, back in the day when I used to watch the Travel Channel, whatever they were showing off in that 30-minute block, I was like, boom, I want to go there. I want to go there. All right, next question. I know I can ask you this one. This is a fun one. What was your favorite cartoon growing up? That's a
I,
hard one.
that's a really hard
What's
one.
one of your favorite cartoons? We'll say that.
I was just having this conversation at work the other day, and I couldn't
That's
pick a
excellent that you were having
favorite.
the conversation yesterday.
Um, I watched a lot of Rugrats. I That's probably up
Okay.
there. The Simpsons too.
Nickelodeon kid, huh? Uh,
Yeah, but not in the quiet on set kind of way.
no, 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 not that. My wife's been watching that too. She's a big Nickelodeon. Doug was one of her
I
favorites.
love Doug.
I mean, we have a Quail Man ornament, Christmas
Oh, what?
ornament, because it's Quail Man, it's Doug. She had to have it, and Rugrats was another one, and oh no, there was something else. Oh, she watched the Salute Your Shorts, Are You Afraid of the Dark, all the classic ones. I was never, I was never the biggest Nickelodeon fan. Not that I hated Nickelodeon. I just there was always something else I was watching.
Were you a Darkwing Duck person?
I was a Darkwing Duck fan. Any of that Disney afternoon stuff, Tailspin, which still holds up today, was good. DuckTales
Yes.
is one of the most excellent ones, and Chippendale Rescue Rangers were the jam back in the day. And you go back even further, and we did me and Wes did a bunch of podcasts on these a few years back. But the Super Friends, old DC cartoon,
Oh yeah.
it's old. And I didn't. I mean, I watched it in the '80s, and it was reruns from like the late '70s, or they
Cool.
were just kept rerunning. Back in the day, new cartoons didn't come out all that often, I guess. But that
Well,
was one of my.
there's so much work. They're I would say more work than conventional filming, like
Oh,
live action.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh definitely. But yeah, those were some of my my favorites back in the day, and some other ones too. I don't remember. I think Cartoon Network did Johnny Bravo, and I was always a
Yes.
Johnny Bravo fan.
I
There's a
liked
few.
Space Ghost.
Oh man, the original Space Ghost was fun, and when they turned him into a comedic character, I was fine with that too.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's like a challenge to get Space Ghost a serious cartoon back on the air, so I'm all for that. But we'll have to see. Um. Uh. Next question. Uh. Favorite fast food place?
Oh, I've become entirely too conscious of ingredients over the last few years.
Ah,
I'm one of
okay.
those people.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I still I'm still drawn to Sonic, and I like Five Guys.
Oh, I love Five Guys.
The Cajun
Our five,
fries are just fire.
I think they're great. Their burgers are good. We moved into an area that was right down. I mean, like 3 blocks down from a Five Guys. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That Five Guys closed 2 days
No.
after we moved. I was like, wait, what? Um, I could not believe it. So now we don't have a five. And then my wife's favorite chicken place was again another 5 blocks up the road in a different direction, and they closed two that month. And I was like,
Unacceptable.
what is going on? For two different reasons, but I was like, we thought we picked. I mean, we still have a great place, but with our two favorite restaurants right next to us, we thought this would be great, and then it didn't work out that way. So
That's a
you know,
shame.
I know it is. It is. I should be more conscious about what I eat. And when I go on my diet at the beginning of the year every year, I'm very strict on what I eat. But I do have my careless moments as
do you have Smash Burger out there?
no, we don't. I have had oh wait, have I had Smash Burger? I have had it in Dallas. I believe I've had it. But yeah, that's a good one too. No, we don't have a do I have a good burger place here now? Because I do like burgers, but I don't think we have one, especially a hometown one. There's there's some people that there's a pub, a little Irish pub here that everyone loves that make the best hamburgers, but they are the snobbiest people in the world. I cannot stand going in there. I did because one of my friends was in town and she wanted to go, so we all went. We ordered the burger, and I looked at my wife and went, "It's a good burger. It's a good burger." But I've infamously been kicked out of that pub 3 times.
That sounds like a you problem.
Well, yes and no. And the funny thing is, I don't drink, so there was no rowdy drunkenness either. It was me arguing with the owner, who we just did not get along, and so I got thrown out 3 times. And now she's retired, and her children run it,
Hmm.
but I'm trying to get over my bias. It wasn't a bad experience when I went, but I'll never say let's go.
Yeah,
And
totally understood.
that's so stubborn of me, because there's my burger right there. There's another place that does a good burger. I just don't get to go to it that much. I never think about it. That's the other thing. I don't go out to eat as much as I used to. So you don't just think about the things where you want to go. And when you have kids, I mean, you're going to McDonald's whether you like it or not. They have toys in their Happy Meals and an indoor playpen, so they're going to win. And it's not adequate cuisine there, but that's about it. That and getting the old cheese pizza, because they cry if I even put pepperonis on it. I got
No.
My birthday was last weekend, and I got the pizza with everything on it. I love it all on there. And my little girls were I got them Happy Meals, but they wanted some pizza. And when they opened the box, ew, Daddy, we don't like, I know, it's not your day. It's Daddy's day. Hush it. And what they ended up doing, I didn't know this till later, they scraped off everything off it and just ate the tomato bread. Why would you do that? And so,
Rascals.
I mean, I had 3 pieces left with super extra toppings on it. It's like eating a Chicago deep dish pizza. I just put it off the microwave the next day. Um, so and feasted. But yeah, so that was good.
You ought
Um,
to have said something. Happy birthday.
oh no, yeah, it's belated now. It's okay. It's fine. What we did is we played board games
That's the
all day.
best.
It was the best. I absolutely love it. I'm pretty much a dud when it comes to TV and um, video games, but my love is transferred to board games and reading. And it's been like that for a while. Who am I kidding? But it's always been the best. But board games just bring people together. If you have a good group, you have fun. And nowadays they make board games for everything. So it's any theme, any mechanic you like. So it's a fun hobby. But I don't get to play it as much because I don't have, as I'm getting older and not making new friends. But my old friends have kind of gone the way of the buffalo, the old gaming group. But they came together for my birthday, thank goodness. So I
Yes.
had one good, and then they promised, because they felt so bad, they didn't get me presents, and I bought the pizza. And I said, "Look, guys, you being here is and it truly is the greatest present. Having those friends and having those good times. I am very social, and that's which is a surprise to no one who watches my channel. I'm a very sociable person, so I know that there's a convention coming up that everyone's going to be excited to meet me at. But what they don't know is I'm going to be 2 times as excited as they are, because I'm going to meet new people and be friends and find out about new people and everything. So it's always fun. Always, that sounds so cheesy, like a educational cartoon, but making friends is the best thing in the world.
No, it sounds awesome. It sounds true. I'm not as good at it as some people are, but friends are like the most valuable thing we have in this world.
That's true. That's true. That is true. A lot of people lose their sight on that, but you know. Anyway, though, all right. So, any other thing? Any announcements? Can they follow you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on X, Twitter, whatever you wanna
Yeah,
call it.
X today.
Um I have uh, I have dropped everything.
Well,
Thank you, mother, my hero. So I have a couple of X accounts. And I don't remember what they actually are at the moment.
That's right. While she's looking it up, again, folks, in the description, I'm going to put the link to Aries on Amazon as well as her own book, Monster. So you need to check those out.
Can I
And
just put these ats in the chat on
absolutely,
StreamYard?
and I'll add them.
Awesome.
I'll add them to the description of the video. Absolutely, that'll work. So we'll do that. All right. So again, Rylla, thank you so much for agreeing to be on. It's wonderful to get to talk to you. So I can't wait for our after show. We get to talk about everything else under the sun. It's going to be a lot of fun. There it is. Got it. Got it. All right.
Right.
Oh, there you go. All right. Got the ats there. So I'm going to add the ats in the description below, folks. Again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Matt. What a pleasure. Like, we can do this anytime you want, friend, whether there's a camera on or not.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen. All right, folks. I'll see you next time on Off the Page.